We have one more short little video on section 6-1. We're going to try to classify a quadrilateral using the coordinate method. So I have 4 points, L, M, N, and P, and I'm going to graph them. So there's my graph. So how am I going to approach this? First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to try to find all 4 slopes. So if you remember, the formula for finding the slope is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So I forgot to put the names of the points up here. It would help us. So let's find the slope of segment LM. So we have m equals 3 minus 2 over 3 minus 1. When we do the arithmetic, that slope is 1/2. And there's 1. About the slope of MN. Three minus 2 over 3 minus 5 equals negative 1/2. The slope of NP m is equal to 2 minus 1 over 5 minus 3. This also gives us 1/2. And the last one, LP, the slope is 2 minus 1 over 1 minus 3, and it is negative 1/2. So we have to try to remember about the relationships between slopes. So what kind of lines have the same slope? Correct, parallel lines. So that means that LM is parallel to which other line? Segment. And P, correct. And MN is parallel to LP. Very good. So far, what have we got? So far we have 2 pairs of parallel lines. So we know our quadrilateral is what? It's a parallelogram. But we're not done. We don't know anything about the lengths of the sides yet. I'll give you a minute to catch up with me. Again, parallel lines have the same slope. And there's one other thing before we go on that you should check. That's to see if the lines are perpendicular. What is it about the slopes of perpendicular lines? Does anybody remember? That the product is negative 1. So let's try this. 1/2 times negative 1/2 is what? It's negative 1/4. And 1/2 times 1/2 is positive 1/4. So these lines are not perpendicular. So that was the first step. So we've been able to classify it as a parallelogram, but if you remember our chart from earlier, which if I could find it, so we have a parallelogram, but what is it? Is it a rectangle? Is it a square? Or it is a rhombus? Well, I think we just might have kind of guided ourselves into the right direction when we realized that they were not perpendicular. Because if they were perpendicular, then they would have right angles. But let's just do this second step to verify. So what are we going to actually do? Step 2, we're going to use the distance formula to find the lengths. So LM is equal to 3 minus 1 squared plus 3 minus 2 squared. And that is the square root of 5. And P minus 3 squared plus 2 minus 1 squared, and it's also equal to the square root of 5. I want you guys try to help me fill this one in. MN, because we don't have the diagram, let's bring the diagram back. MN, M is 3, 3, N is, oops, you can't see it, 5, 2. So MN is 3 minus 5 squared plus 3 minus 2 squared. I'll let you calculate that. LP I'll let you calculate that. Of course, they're all congruent. So what have we got? We have 4 congruent sides and 2 pairs of parallel sides. So according to our diagram, our figure is a rhombus. I'll give you a minute here to catch up with me. And this is the end of section 6-1.